There's never been any shortage of gourmet foods in China. What follows in the next 48 minutes is not about food. Rather, it's about the dedicated production crews from China Central Television who made the series. It's about how they searched for the stories behind the food. Their quest makes a remarkable documentary in itself. For episodes from Seasons to Secret Realms and Encounters, the 8 film crews visited 150 sites across China. They covered more than 400,000 kilometers, documenting the inspiring stories that lie behind home cooking and the 3 daily meals.
I'm exhausted.
It is pretty hot.
It's so spicy. I'm freezing. Please calm down. And we found no mushrooms.
Their efforts underpin the success of A Bite of China. Dali Nur is Mongolian for ocean lake. This vast stretch of water, 80,000 years old, and home to a natural delicacy, is where we begin our story. On day 1, the film crew is caught off guard by the freezing cold, minus 25 degrees Celsius.
The lake I'm standing on covers 240 square kilometers. It was formed by a volcanic eruption 80,000 years ago. It's called a volcanic barrier lake.
The crew are here to film Amur Ides. The barrier lake's alkalinity has turned them into extraordinary creatures. The crew traced the fish spawn in spring. Now the annual fishing season has finally come. On day 2, the temperature drops another 2 degrees. The film crew and the fishermen leave very early in the morning to make for their fishing spot. The ice on the lake is 60 centimeters thick. It's a 1-hour drive to the fishing spot. Nobody foresees the problem that lies just ahead.
Get some snow.
Here you go.
Rub it on.
We need some more snow. What's going on?
Director Fi Yu-ming has spent hours filming from the van. His face is frostbitten, but the preparations for fishing in the lake are getting underway. They must keep filming to capture every spectacular moment. Fishing begins at 7 a.m. and finishes at 2 p.m. every day.
Watch it.
A net has to be set up. It will stretch for 2 kilometers beneath the surface of the frozen lake. It takes a team of 26 men. The day gets brighter, but no warmer. Filming at minus 25 degrees proves a challenge, both for the crew and for their equipment.
Pull it hard. A drop of water got on the lens. Get a new lens.
In just 2 hours, the weather swings from fine to overcast.
The sun was out earlier. It's gone. But this is actually just right.
Pull the rope. 1, 2.
Some water got on the switch. Now it's frozen. It froze in an instant. It won't turn on. The battery went flat. They don't last in this temperature.
Are you okay?
My fingers are completely numb. I can't control my fingers.
Heat packs don't work anymore.
Reel in the net.
After a 7-hour wait at temperatures below -20, it's finally time to raise the net.
This episode is about secret realms, located beside a vast grassland in an 80,000-year-old alkaline lake. A delicious food ingredient is found in the lake. A lot of effort goes into sustaining this resource. All this is highly relevant to the secret realms theme of this episode.
This was the film crew's most formidable assignment, but they have managed to get some really superb shots. It's been a memorable experience for every crew member. A gourmet dish is a blend of food ingredients and spices. To get just the right story, film crews traced the ingredients back into the fields and hills. In Encounters, the film crew followed an old man as he collected a much-cherished underwater delicacy from Yushan Island. Until 1955, Yushan Island was occupied by Kuomintang troops. When they finally withdrew to Taiwan, they took all the villagers with them. Zhang Shizhong was then 16 and still at school on the mainland, so he was separated from his family. 60 years have passed. He and his wife are preparing to visit his family in Taiwan. He'd like to bring a special gift from home. This is when the filming begins.
The locals call mussels kursai. We'll be going out in a boat with them to try and get some footage.
On day 2, the crew films Zhang collecting mussels on the seashore. It's 7 a.m., but the temperature has already risen to 20 degrees Celsius.
We've just filmed Mr. Zhang prizing mussels off. It was pretty cool. I just tried it myself. It's really hard work. And he's 75 years old.
It's been a good morning, but Zhang isn't satisfied. He knows the choicest mussels lie beneath the water. To reach the mainland, the 100 or so families living on the island rely on a ferry that runs twice a day. Zhang was an experienced fisherman and an excellent diver when he was young. Back then, there was no diving gear. To collect mussels deep underwater, they had to free dive. Zhang developed heart disease as a result of the pressure. He doesn't do underwater collection anymore. So he asks some young men of the village to help. Director Chun Shuo decides to film the fishermen collecting mussels underwater. This is the best time, just after dawn, when the water is still pristine. Today, the fishermen dive wearing full gear, which allows them to stay underwater for much longer. The entire collection process is filmed with underwater cameras. After a quick clean, the mussels can be dried and stored. In a week's time, Zhang will take the mussels with him as he goes to meet his family in Taiwan. The crew will go with him. As one crew makes its way to Taiwan, another arrives at its destination, Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a gourmet food paradise. As the gourmet capital of Asia, it offers the finest of international cuisine, modified with local flavors and expertise. There's no shortage of stories here. On the 14th of September, director Ding Zhang and his crew leave Shenzhen for Hong Kong. Tomorrow is the Mid-Autumn Festival, the most important and traditional Chinese festival. The crew will miss out on celebrating it with their families.
Make sure we don't leave any equipment behind.
Hong Kongers are used to a fast-paced way of life. There's no sense of a break, even during the Mid-Autumn Festival. The crew quickly finds itself immersed in the hustle and bustle. But Ding has something else in mind.
I'd like to try to portray the deeper meaning of the story of Hong Kong. I want to represent the quest they embark on to be with nature, the quest of being in this highly developed city.
That is why Ding has come to Hong Kong.
Yes, he's here. Here's Jay.
Aya Hua lives in Tunmen. She moved to Hong Kong 10 years ago. Her home is on a mountainside.
When I was searching online for a Hong Kong story, I chanced upon the Happy Community Kitchen. I read through some logs of their past events. It's exactly what I'm after. Pursuing a simple lifestyle or freeing oneself from this complicated world to live a simple and modest life.
More than 100 people will come to the Mid-Autumn Festival gathering of the Happy Community Kitchen, convened by Aya Hua. Filming in Hong Kong proceeds as planned. Ding also wants to film one other person's story, Chin's. However, Chin, a lover of land and nature, declines the request. Tomorrow, Aya Hua will visit Chin on her farm to buy some food. Ding mustn't let this opportunity slip by. "4 a.m. After snatching 3 hours' sleep, director Chun Lei wakes everyone else up. They've been working intensively for a week. Now they want to film the seafood market just before dawn. The freshness of the food you buy often depends on how hard you work to obtain it. The same principle applies to filming. More than half the time, filming begins very early in the morning for all 8 of the film crews. The sun slowly rises 2 hours later. It's a fine day. As planned, the crew takes a boat to an offshore oyster farm. The sea is calm. It's perfect for filming. But trouble is not far away.
It doesn't work.
The card is full.
Take a look. I reformatted it in a hurry this morning.
Well, just use the other one. You used the B card, right?
Yes.
Just hold on to it.
I reformatted them both.
As filming continues, Chun Lei has no idea that an even bigger problem lies ahead.
It can't detect the memory card.
Can't it?
Finally, the camera stops working completely. Chun rings Beijing for technical support.
Please hurry. He didn't know. He's getting an engineer to ring us back.
They have no choice but to stop filming and return to base to wait for assistance.
How much can we lose?
Everything up to now?
In theory, we could lose the last track, and maybe a bit before that.
But in reality,
In reality, since we lost power, it's hard to say how much footage was lost. We'd best take it to a repair center and let them recover the data.
The nearest repair center is hundreds of kilometers away in Guangzhou. Most worrying is that the camera's memory card holds the whole day's footage. If the card has failed, a whole day's work will be down the drain. That would be a disaster. Meanwhile, the Hong Kong crew are on their way to the countryside. They'll try to talk Chin into changing her mind. "10 a.m. and she's still not here.
she's nervous. She knows me. I'll talk to her.
Their natural surroundings. There are plenty of ants and insects here. It doesn't look anything like Hong Kong. I love the stark contrast between this and the megacity of Hong Kong. It's also what makes the Hong Kong story so attractive.
After much convincing by Aya Hua, Chin finally agrees to meet the crew.
I'd like to film your farm. And you working on the farm.
Just leave the stuff here for now.
She doesn't want her face to be shown. She's agreed to be filmed from the back or the side, but she wants to remain anonymous.
Finally, Chin allows herself to be filmed, on condition that her face not be shown.
Chin is reluctant to be filmed. She's concerned about her family or the people close to her, so she doesn't want to be filmed or interviewed. The shots this morning weren't very good. I mean, they were chaotic. But the shot we got of her having lunch in the shade with Aihua, that was very natural and very presentable.
Aya Hua is pleased with the vegetables she gets from the farm. She'll use them for the Mid-Autumn Festival gathering. While he fell short of full access, Ding is pleased with Chin's surprising change of mind. He knows he's got a little closer to the minds of Hong Kongers. Meanwhile, Chun-Lei's camera is still out of order. The crew waits for help to arrive.
Perform data recovery on camera to recover video file. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay. We have to give it a try. Let's try track 1 first. It's got less data.
Can we have another vote?
I vote yes. If it fails, we'll do it again.
Running the recovery routine on the camera may result in the total loss of the day's data.
Just give it a try.
See what happens. Oh, look. Yes, it's all there. Quick, get it out of there.
Chun-Lei's gamble leads to a miracle. Following the instructions of the technician in Beijing, he manages to download the data to the computer. The best reward for the crew's hard work is that it didn't go to waste. But the gambling doesn't end here. Greater risks and more daring adventures still lie ahead. Extreme climates can produce extremely delicious food. The challenge for the crew is to find interesting, true stories of people and their food. In search of food from an extreme climate, director Hu Bo leads a film crew to the hottest city in Western China, Tulufan. This place gets 3,200 hours of sunshine a year, with 16 millimeters of rain. It's one of the driest places on Earth. This unique environment is the birthplace of a delicacy. The summer story in the Seasons episode begins here. Tulufan was a stop on the ancient Silk Road. The scenery is picturesque, but the heat poses a great challenge to the crew.
Water.
Ouch! It burns my feet.
It's pretty hot. Yes, it is. The big thermometer there says it's 63 degrees. It's 9:15 p.m. Beijing time. Look, it's still light.
For Hu Bo, an even bigger problem than the heat is time. In order to keep up with the seasons, she has to travel across the vastness of China, searching for stories to film before the summer ends.
Can you sell the second harvest fresh?
Yes.
Is the water from Mount Tianshan?
She was still little.
She was. 1, 2, 3.
After going door to door to survey over 20 households, Hu finally finds her story.
The summer story in the episode centers around temperature and sunshine. There are the snails in Lake Tiandao, the flying fish at Lanyu, the drought in Hengyang, the grapes in Tulufan, and the prawn noodles of Wuhu. It's been a summer of intensive work. We were researching and filming at the same time. We had no time to go back to Beijing for a break. It's been a real physical challenge for the crew, but we managed to get the job done. What we want to express in the summer story is the fact that gourmet food lasts for a fleeting moment. One has to be in the right place at the right time to enjoy real delicacies. Of course, we also want to pay tribute to those who toil away in the fields.
The most exquisite food ingredients are often hidden. If the crew wants to find them, they must travel further still. The day director Lee Jung has been waiting for is finally here. After an 8-month wait, shiitake mushrooms have just been spotted.
We're used to it, but city folks find it really tough.
The news pushes all else out of Mr. Rao's mind.
Do you call this a road? Sit tight.
Lee is filming on the Qingfeng Fault, China's geographical center. Even the dirt road peters out. The spot is highly inaccessible.
I thought we'd have to carry it. Carrying the equipment through there would take an hour. This road was finished yesterday. It leads to their place. It's not bad. Can we stay overnight?
Yes.
Can the 5 of us sleep on the floor? Yes.
Lee must follow Mr. Rao deep into the mountains in search of rare wild shiitake mushrooms.
I spent the most time and energy on this story. I've been asking him about the mushrooms since I came in March. He always said no. It was November. I'd been waiting for 7 or 8 months. The season was ending. I was getting desperate. I was feeling so...
Several days of rain and the cool weather awaken the mushrooms. The wet, slippery and rugged terrain makes trekking and filming extremely difficult. After struggling through the mountains for 2 hours, the crew finally reaches the place where the mushrooms were spotted. It's 7 degrees Celsius. Everyone is exhausted from trekking in the cold with heavy equipment.
The survival instinct kicks in when you're in the wild. Yummy.
The crew have been following Rao in the mountains for 5 hours. The mushrooms seem to have disappeared.
The hike wore us out. It takes 5 hours to get here and 7 hours to get out, and we found nothing. It's just a storeroom. There was charcoal all over it. It was all piled up on the bed. It's been empty for years. There's a rat hole.
The temperature drops to near 0. The crew has to conserve their energy and wait for dawn. On the second day, Lee continues filming. Nobody knows what lies in store.
Zilch. Could you walk slowly up this way? Anything? He spotted one. Move in. Hold on. It's been a great day. After hours of searching, we found a few wild mushrooms. We've got some brilliant shots. I'm happy with them. For one thing, we found some mushrooms after all. The other thing is, I'm thrilled about the fact we managed to get those adorable wild mushrooms on film. I hope today's streak of luck will continue.
In the end, Rao found his mushrooms and the crew got their footage.
It's tough. We've been in the mountains for 7 to 8 hours, but viewers won't know how hard we worked. Working hard doesn't always mean we'll get spectacular shots.
Li's filming continues while another crew, led by Deng Jia, looks for another story.
The theme of the episode is home cooking. They're the largest family appearing in this episode. The valley landscape surrounding the village is probably not unique to this place, but having a cornfield right by a cliff is not something you'd see every day. If you go over the edge, you're gone. There's no coming back.
To capture the cornfield and the rugged landscape, Deng decides to film from the air. Her plan was dampened by rain yesterday, and this morning it's overcast.
The village is in a valley. No weather forecast can predict the weather here. When we were considering the viability of aerial filming, the weather was our greatest concern.
Sure enough, the crew run into trouble.
It's too gusty. 9 meters, 10 meters. It's reaching 11 meters. Calm down, please. There's a hut there.
Did you push me?
No, it was the gale.
She was blown away.
Deng's loss of balance in the wind makes the crew even more concerned.
If the wind suddenly picks up, I can do a crash landing on the cornfield. But if it goes down here...
As midday approaches, the wind begins to subside and the sun comes out for a few fleeting moments. This may be their only chance.
The steering cord. Gosh.
To keep full control of the drone, one has to be as close as possible to the cliff. He's not too keen on this position.
That's close enough. Don't you?
Don't get too close.
Come back.
I'm not scared.
That's not the point. Safety first.
Chun Lei is Deng Jia's husband, but she's too busy to listen to him.
If you're here and the drone goes that way, you won't be able to see it.
We'll just have to risk it. Turn it this way. This way. I'm lowering it. The damn tree's in the way. Tilt the camera downwards. I've got to keep it steady. Take it to the front. The timing is great.
There are 3 of them.
Can it go any lower?
Do I fly straight through?
Yes. Watch the wind. You've gone past it. One more time.
I'll circle round and come back.
It's flying back with the wind.
It's so windy.
Shall we take a look there?
Now?
After several runs, the aerial cameramen feel they have the perfect footage. But the director wants to try something more daring. She wants an even wider shot to show the vastness of the landscape.
Let's do it. It's a mega zoom out.
Okay.
I'm taking it up.
It's been 40 minutes.
That's it. You've got it.
The drone flies so high, it's barely visible. It's getting the widest possible view, but at extreme range.
The other way. Veer to the left. To your left.
Just as he's about to lose contact, one flicks the switch and the drone reappears. It's been a fabulous flight, giving the crew a magnificent aerial view and helping us all to appreciate the farmer's will to survive.
The scene of a cornfield by a cliff like this one fills people with awe. It helps you appreciate the greatness of nature and also how insignificant you really are on Earth.
The producers of a quality documentary on gourmet food must have a passion for life and a deep respect for food. And they must try to present the food at its very best. Director Xiaomin has to use special equipment to complete today's task. In the documentary trade, it's a secret weapon.
We need to use special filming equipment to show the finer details of some food. This is macro video filming.
The subject of today's task is tofu.
The macro video camera has to slide across very steadily. We developed this in-house. It ensures stability as the camera moves horizontally.
Xiaomin shoots the scene several times to get the best footage. With the help of macro video, he captures all the delicacy of the ingredients.
This may be a brand new filming technique.
Tasks of this type make up only half of the total workload in producing the series.
We used the latest technology in our filming. We managed to get very rich data, which allows us to do finer calibrations, so we can present gourmet foods in their true colors.
Further work in post-production delivers the perfect picture. At last, after a year of painstaking preparation, a bite of China is finally served. The year of toil will soon prove to be a year of rich gains as well. Through tracing the origins and paths of food, every crew member has gained a deeper appreciation of the Chinese gourmet culture and a deeper understanding of the people, the families, and the ethnicities they represent.